This is the highest round achieved in every starting room in COD Zombies. All these world records can be found in the link in the description below on Zombie World Records. Starting off, we have Nactor and Toten from World at War with the world record of 156 by Riese. The starting room in this map is relatively bigger than most, I guess you could say. There is a good amount of play space, but it's very limited. You have 2 wall weapons and that is it. They play pretty well, but they end up getting caught off just here in this little gap, which you can sometimes get stuck in pretty easily. And with the way that the World at War zombies work, they kind of glue themselves to you a wee bit. But overall, super impressive. Then moving on to Varuk with the world record of 36 by Sunlight. Obviously, Varuk has 2 starting rooms that you can kind of choose from. It randomly puts you into one. And again, the starting room doesn't really offer that much. And the Varuk zombies on World at War are a lot more aggressive. You can see that the strategy involves just running around in the rooms, avoiding getting swiped by zombies, until eventually the inedible happens and they take it down. Overall, super impressive. Moving on to Numa with the world record of 49 by Tennis Balls Free. This room has a little bit more room than Varuk, and it is pretty much just about avoiding these zombies from swiping you. That is the only way to really make it, because there's no jug in these high round records. And they end up taking it down here due to a double swipe, but overall, super impressive. Moving on to Riese with the world record of 45, achieved by its luscious baby. These are probably the most difficult zombies to face because they will actually grab onto you, and once they grip you, they just don't let go. Even though the Riese starting room does have a lot of room that you can move around in, as soon as the zombies hit you, it's practically game over. You can see that they take their down just here, but overall, 45 rounds off the restarting room is crazy impressive. Then moving on to Kino Toten by Tester with the world record of 60. I like the Kino starting room. It's a good training area in general, and you can see here they are part of the M14 gang, which shows they are an intelligent human being. Obviously in the starting room as well, you have quick revive, which can be useful in Black Ops 1 because it works unlike World at War. And in the description of Tester's video, you'll be able to see that the way the game ends is by their PC completely crashing. Next up on 5 by Veritician, we have the world record of 47. 5 is another tight spawn room, and yeah, you have quick revive, but that's about it. This is another spawn room that takes an obscene amount of skill to actually master. You can see here with the N1911 that they are completely edging it, and they do unfortunately go down just here by a little double swipe. Overall, super impressive. Moving on to Ascension with the world record of 62 by Zayadu. The Ascension spawn room is a little bit bigger. You have the spinny thing in the middle that will kill zombies, so it is probably one of the better spawn rooms to actually be in. And this game here doesn't end with a down, but it actually ends with an error that you can see in the description of this video. Moving on to Call the Dead, which also has a pretty good starting room challenge, because if you've done the Easter egg with George Romero, you'll get a Wonder Waff every time you kill him, along with perks as well. So you can see here when they have the Wonder Waff, they're using a combination of the Wonder Waff and PhD's explosion to kill the zombies around them. And then their game does end by being trapped in this corner. But overall, super impressive, and Call of the Dead is actually probably an underrated first room challenge to do, so you should go try it. Moving on to Shangri-La by JZ115 with the world record of round 60. Again, the spawn room, you can get all your perks through the monkeys, but again, it's a spawn room that is really easy to get stuck in. Like, it is only inedible that you are going to go down due to just getting trapped by zombies. And you can use the Infernae zombies to kill zombies around you as well, which can be pretty useful, but also very dangerous. So overall, a super impressive world record. Then moving on to Moon with the world record of round 44 by Zombie Legend GER. Obviously, you can get the Mustang and Sally's from Area 51 before going into the spawn room, and then that with quick revive. It's a pretty good first room to be in, along with using your quick revive, so you obviously get more Mustang and Sally's till you can get some explosion kills from that as well. But when you run out of ammo, I guess there's not really much you can do, and they accept their fate and dolphin dive into the zombies, and that is game over. Moving on to the World at War remakes, we have Nactor and Totem around 44 by Zayadu once again. Definitely a little bit more difficult than the World at War version, but they get double swipe just here. Moving on to Varuk with the world record of 40 by Plant. They end up opening the map up on round 40, and that does end their high round streak. Moving on to Numa with Zayadu once again. with the world record of 43, again taking it down just here. And then we have tennis balls once again on Riese with the world record of 52, taking a unfortunate down just here. And that is it for the Black Ops 1 world records. Then moving on to Black Ops 2 with Tranzit with the world record of 43/46. Zombie world record says 46, but the gameplay only shows 43 by iTech-A-Lot. So with this high round strat, you're going to have quick revive, you're going to have the M14 gang, you have the Olympia as well, but there's not really any point of picking that up. And the game doesn't show it down, so I don't know who's right. I feel like it's probably round 46, but the gameplay just isn't here. But even if it was just 43, that is still the world record, so pretty insane. Then moving on to Bus Depot with the world record around 41 by Dago, by da_GHO. It's pretty similar, except you don't have quick revive in this, so it's a lot more difficult, I would actually say. They do end up taking a down, but overall super impressive. Then moving on to Town with the world record around 75 by Zayadu once again. This high round strat's pretty good for the first room because you have Pack-a-Punch, you have double tap and stamina up. You have access to a mystery box as well, so if your luck is good, you can get the Ray Gun Mark II, making it a lot easier to get to these higher rounds. But you can see from the comments here, this is the former one as of currently. Tech is going for the world record from the comments that you're seeing just here. So give it a bit of time and this will probably be updated. Then moving on to Farm with the world record of 66 by Zayadu once again. This high round strat, you have access to double tap, which makes your weapons a bit more effective, but you don't have Pack-a-Punch. And they take a down just here by getting stuck on this door, but overall super impressive. Then moving on to Nuketown Zombies with the world record of 58 by iTech-A-Lot once again. There's a lot of good room to train in this map, but they do end up taking a down just here, which is super unfortunate, but overall impressive world record. But by browsing their channel, I found the gameplay for the highest round in Town's first room. So iTech-A-Lot is currently the world record holder if everything goes through on Zombie World Records. You can see they have a down right here. I will be keeping Zayadu's record in here as well because they're both super impressive, and he is the official one on the website as of right now. Moving on to Rise with the world record of 67 by Sunly. But I think we've already had on this list as well. With Rise, you can get all your perks from the jumping jacks and having 100% accuracy or just meleeing them. So you have access to that, and then unfortunately you're forced to use the Olympia. So I know the M40 gang is crying right now, but it's better than nothing. And you'll see here they do end up taking it down just by getting cornered by these zombies. And they get stuck again on the staircase just here. And then we have Mob of the Dead with the world record of 40 by Inferno Martin. Probably one of the harder first room challenges. You do have Afterlife to help, but other than that, you're very limited. All you can do is really run around in the sort of library area of the map like they do just here. But overall, super impressive. Their game does end by taking a down, but it takes a lot of skill to even get to this round. So congratulations. Then moving on to Buried with the world record of 39 by Kapritska. If I pronounced that wrong, I'm so sorry. You can see that they're using the Perma PhD perk to get a lot of their kills just here, but they do end up taking a down. Then moving on to our last BO2 map, Origins in 4K resolution by iTech-A-Lot once again with round 56. With this first room challenge, you have access to double tap from the rewards. You can see they get stuck in this corner just here, and that is game over, and that does it for the Black Ops 2 world records. Firing through the Exo Zombie world records, you have Outbreak with round 40 by Carl Skrillex, which I have to say, this is extra hard, right? Because you don't have an exo suit, so you're reliant basically all on movement. They do get trapped here, but overall super impressive. Carl Skrillex once again around 40 on Infection, where you have a bit more of this because you can get access to the mystery box, and you do have traps here when you fail challenges. I believe you get access to them, so there is ways of killing, but they do end up taking it down just here. We have Apasbaya, we have Apasbu with the world record of 30 on Carrier, and this is even more difficult to regard because you have our NPC guys that are going to spawn in and try and kill you with guns, so it's not just the zombies you have to worry about. And then we have Descent with the world record of 41 by Carl Skrillex once again. So you can get some decent things in this first room, but Overall, you just get spammed so much with the amount of enemy types that there is only so much you can do. And that is it for the Exo Zombie World Records. Now we're moving on to the Black Ops 3 World Records. We'll be using the classic gobblegums only. So even though these are the highest rounds in this video, it might not necessarily be the complete world record, because obviously with gobblegums, it's a lot easier, but I thought to add a bit more challenge to this video, let's make it so it's all what you have in the start room plus classic gobblegums. Starting off with Shadows Evil with the world record of 43 by Robin Rounds. The starting room is really tight. You have Marguas as well, and overall it is a pretty difficult starting room. You do have Quick Revive on the RK5, which are pretty good to have, but the only thing that can be your saving grace is the one pod in there, and you might get a somewhat decent gun from it. This high round ends with a down by being trapped just here. Then moving on to the Giant by Brads with the world record of 54, where you have access to the Shiva and then the RK5 as well. Just like the Riese, there is a lot of training space in the starting room, but he does get downed and the game does end. Moving on to Horizon Draka with the world record of 54 as well, being the first map where we have access to the Gobblegum machine, and this world record is achieved by Vaping Vigra. You can see that they're just training in the main area just down the stairs, kind of near the gondola. You can't really do too much in this high round other than just be careful with your positioning. If you're lucky enough, you might get some decent stuff from the gondola itself, like the monkey bombs. And you can also get the ray gun from the gondola as well if you're lucky. But overall, this was super impressive. Then moving on to Zetsubo by KB3K with the world record of 51. Again, with this high round, it's a lot about positioning and knowing that you're pretty weak to the enemies on this map because you don't have Jug or anything. You can see they take it down in the water just here and it's game over. Then moving on to Go Rod Crovey by Vaping Vigor once again with the world record of 54. You can see they get down right here and it is game over. Then moving on to Revelations with the world record of 45 by Blaf OUX. Without the gobblegums and such, this is probably one of the more difficult ones to high round just because of the enemies that spawn in. You have the Panzers and then you have the Marguas as well. Without Jug, it's kind of difficult. Moving on to the Zombie Chronicle maps, we have Nactor and Totem with the world record of 47 by Trix. You can see they achieved the round just here. Then you see we have Varut with round 36 by Dopio, and they do end up taking it down just here. We have Shino Numa with round 46 by Azri. You can see they take it down just here, getting caught by the zombies. We have Kino their Totem with round 58, achieved by Jewelers. You can see it's really unfortunate they're a death machine, but they take it down just here. We have Ascension with round 62. It's kind of hard to make out with the gameplay by Enquiries. And in the description of the stream, this ends with a reset. Shangri-La with round 59 by Wave's Biggest Fan. And obviously with this map, again, you can get a lot of your perks for the monkeys. And they do end up taking it down just here. And they do end up just ending the game. We have Moon with round 107 by H-Tenic BR. Obviously they have Jug there and they have the RK5 with Blast Furnace on Pack-a-Punched. But then they do end up kind of taking a dodgy play just here and getting trapped with the zero gravity, and then it's game over. And then you have Origins round 60 by I'm Overcharged. Obviously they have Quick Revive and Double Tap, and they do end off the game just here. And that is it for the BO3 World Records. Then moving on to Zombies in Spaceland with the world record of 54, we have Leo. And for the Infinite Warfare World Records, we will be using only the Fate card category as I think it's fair for the Gobblegums as well. As I think it makes it kind of fair for the Gobblegums that we're allowed to use as well. So Infinite Warfare is one of the only games where you get a power up that actually pack-punches your gun, hence why they have a pack-a-punch pistol, but they do end up taking it down just coming up here. Then moving on to Raven the Redwood with Leo once again with round 35. It's all about movement because this first room is really tight, and they do end up taking it down just here, but I would say this is a lot more impressive than Zombies in Spaceland. Then moving on to Shallow and Shuffle with the world record of 50, and they do end up taking it down just here, and this was achieved by Kaprizka. Then moving on to the Attack of the Radioactive Thing with round 23, and this was achieved by a few people. So we have MyRasmo, we have CSFR's Max Enors, the gameplay that we have here, and then we have Bobber as well. Again, as a reminder, you guys can check out all these world records and more on Zombie World Records. And that is it for the Infinite Warfare Zombies category, as Beast from Beyond only has cryptids that spawn in. Moving on to World War II Zombies with Prologue with the world record of 42 by Septic Gaming. It's quite a small map, as we all know. There's not a lot of room. You do have access to quick revive and then armor as well, but natural skill will only get you so far before you end up taking it down, just like we do here. Just here where there's not really any escape, and that's game over. Super impressive nonetheless. Then moving on to the final Reich with round 34 by the Quick Hayden. Well, they do end up taking it down just coming up here, and that is game over. And then we have Groston House with a world record of 83 by Septic Gaming once again, where you have access to a few more perks and the mystery box as well, where they do end up just taking it down coming up here. Then we have the Darkest Shore round 53 by the Quick Hayden once again, trying to use the bomber zombies to explode, I guess, the other group of zombies. A pretty good way, and there is a lot of room on this beach, but since the zombies aren't really going to be in a tight train, that's just the natural way of World War II zombies, they're very spread out. And it is pretty much GG from here's. He does just get absolutely whacked by these zombies, and it is game over. Moving on to the Shadowed Throne by Riese Gaming with the world record of 68. There is some room in the starting room, but not a whole lot. There's a few decent wall weapons you can get access to as well. But since this game is more difficult in terms of a zombies game, you are going to find that bad luck is going to always come your way. Just here, and they end up taking the down. Then we have the Frozen Dawn with round 76 by I Love Controversy. Again, another pretty good spawn room, but just the way that World War II Zombies works, it's naturally just kind of difficult. And they do end up taking it down just coming up here. Just a stroke of bad luck, but that is it for the World War II Zombie. Moving on to Black Ops 4 with 9 with the world record of 66. We have Bitim. I know the gameplay isn't the most crisp, but you can make out the strategy they're using just here, where they're just running about, obviously using Wraith Fires and then using the Back Punch Strife, but they do end up taking it down just here. Then moving on to Voyage of Despair with the world record of 62 by ZKL Alistair Gamer. He does have a stroke of bad luck with going down just here. And with Black Ops 4 being an aggressive zombies game, it is very hard to pick yourself back up, and they do end up taking it down just here. Then going over Blood of the Dead with the world record of 59 by my UU27. Probably one of the more difficult first room challenges just due to the spawns. There isn't so much enemy spam, to be fair, but they train in Richthofen's lab area until they kind of get caught off guard just here, where they do end up taking a down. Then moving on to Classified with the world record of 53 by Bitim once again. They do end up going down just here before they can use their specialist weapon. Then moving on to Dead of the Night with the world record of 41 by ZSFR, who we've already seen on this list. You can see it's a combination of using Wraith Fires and then their specialist weapon until they end up just going down just here. Then we have Ancient Evil with 57 by IMZ123. And they do end up taking it down just here. We have Alistair's Gaming once again with Alpha Omega with round 60. But again, they end up taking it down just here, getting absolutely spammed. And then going over the last Black Ops 4 map, we have Tagged or Totem with round 179 by Bobber once again. Then moving on to the Cold War section of this video, there are multiple people with this world record. So if you're curious to see who else has gotten it, go look at the website. But we'll be looking at whoever's at the top of the leaderboard currently. This doesn't necessarily mean that they have the fastest time though. So first of all, with the machine, we have Pikachu with the world record of 935. And then they end their game by opening the map with Firebase Z with round 476 by Tony V. And then their game does end with a crash. We have Mauerder Toten with round 265. And there's not actual gameplay of it here, it looks like. But this was achieved by Drain BB. We have Forsaken by Trix with round 935. Tied with Insomnia Virus with 935 as well. Moving on to Shinonuma Reborn, we have Sunly with round 35. And they do end up taking a down just here. And then we have Sunly once again with the Archon with round 40. And they do end up taking a down just here. And then going over the Black Ops 6 world records, we will be going over the category that is support, but no gobblegums, because the gobblegums in this game are pretty overpowered. And there's not like there's a classic set that you get unlimited mounts off. So with Terminus, we have round 45 by Apaz BU. And you can see they end up taking their down just coming up here. They just get overrun by the zombies. Moving on to Liberty Falls, we have round 212 by Devious. The great thing about this starting room is that you have access to traps that you can use. So it's not the most difficult to kill zombies on this game, but it's definitely a lot more about movement and positioning. But they do end up taking it down just there. Then moving on to Citadel des Morts, we have round 982 by Geen, and their game does end up crashing. We have the Tomb with round 58 by Ross88 Bic. And you're going to see the down just coming up just here, where it's pretty hard to prevent this, just the absolute spam they were getting. And then moving on to our last map with the Shattered Veil by Sean with the world record of 61. You can see they're on the round just here, and they end up taking the down just coming up here, where they just kind of gets overrun. And then it's pretty much game over. This has been the highest round in every spawn room in COD Zombies. Make sure you guys do a like and subscribe for more videos, and check out everyone in this video on Zombie World Records. And if you enjoyed this video, you might enjoy this one here.